In the corridors of power, whispers of war echoed like thunder, casting a pall of uncertainty over the nation of Hyania. For 6 months, Ruta had meticulously laid the groundwork for a conflict that would determine the fate of nations. His ambitions, fueled by a hunger for power and conquest, went far beyond seeking justice for the late President Natsu. With unwavering determination, Ruta set his sights on nothing less than the conquest of 6 neighboring countries, envisioning a unified nation under a single flag, the guerrillist flag. Despite Hyania's desperate attempts at negotiation, led by President Yossi and his team of diplomats, Ruta remained steadfast in his resolve. The prospect of peace dwindled with each passing day, replaced by the ominous specter of war. The air crackled with tension as the countdown to conflict drew near. In the heart of Hyania's capital, the bustling streets belied the sense of foreboding that gripped the nation. Citizens went about their daily lives, but beneath the facade of normalcy lay a deep-seated fear, a fear of the unknown, of what the future held in store. Families clung to one another, seeking solace in the embrace of loved ones as uncertainty hung heavy in the air. Amidst the turmoil, President Yossi stood resolute, his steely resolve a beacon of hope in the gathering storm. With every passing day, he grappled with the weight of responsibility that rested upon his shoulders, the fate of an entire nation resting in his hands. Yet, despite the enormity of the task before him, he refused to waver, drawing strength from the unwavering spirit of his people. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cityscape, President Yossi took to the airwaves, his voice a clarion call to arms. In a solemn address to the nation, he delivered a message of defiance, rallying his fellow citizens to stand firm in the face of adversity. "We stand against an overwhelming force," President Yossi declared, his voice echoing through the airwaves with a sense of quiet determination. "But surrender is not an option. Our destiny is not predetermined. We are a nation born to protect our sovereignty, to uphold the ideals upon which our forefathers founded this great nation." His words, imbued with a sense of unwavering resolve, struck a chord with the people of Hyania. In homes and gathering places across the nation, citizens gathered around radios and television sets, hanging on his every word. For in President Yossi, they saw not just a leader, but a symbol of hope, a beacon of light in the darkness that threatened to engulf them. "Brothers and compatriots," President Yossi continued, his voice steadied despite the weight of his words. "Let us rise to the challenge. Let us fight to the very end to liberate our nation from the grip of the guerrillists. Our success will be our pledge and our legacy, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the people of Hyania." As his speech drew to a close, a sense of determination swept through the nation like a wildfire, igniting a flame of resistance that burned bright in the hearts of all who heard his words. In the face of overwhelming odds, Hyania stood united, a nation prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice in defense of its freedom and sovereignty. The stage was set for the battles of the brave, where courage would be tested, sacrifices made, and destinies forged in the crucible of war. In the days to come, the fate of Hyania would hang in the balance as its brave sons and daughters took up arms to defend their homeland against the forces of tyranny and oppression. The chapter aptly captures the impending clash in Battles of the Brave, Hyania's last stand, reflecting the unwavering spirit of a nation facing its greatest trial. As the sun rose on the horizon, casting its golden rays over the land, the people of Hyania stood ready to write the next chapter in their storied history, a chapter of courage, resilience, and defiance in the face of adversity.